Well, if you saw the last video, you know that South Louisiana has already had its first cool front, and that really kicked off everything into high gear. The fishing's gotten really good. The front has since dissipated, and it's really gotten warm again. In fact, we set a record yesterday, it's 90 degrees. Not quite that hot today because we got a thick cloud cover, heavy leaden skies, rain all around the area. But I'm heading out anyway for an afternoon trip with my good buddy, Chris Macaluso. You've seen him in other videos. Very good fisherman, who's a lot of fun to fish with. We're gonna fish on this fallen tide. The tide is just now peaking according to all the buoys, and it's just starting to fall. So the water's gonna be up a little bit, but we got that fallen tide situation, which I really love to fish. Got high hopes for this afternoon. We're gonna target bass and reds in the inshore waters, and you know that means we're gonna run into some speckled trout. Everything's biting right now, so hopefully today goes as planned. Let's see. So C-Mac rubs elbows with a lot of Washington, D.C. bigwigs. And today he's taking the head of the EPA on a tour of the Davis Pond freshwater diversion. So he's not supposed to meet me here until about 1 o'clock. Right now it's 11:30. I just put the boat in the water. Gives me about an hour and a half to go see if I can catch any fish really close to the dock here. So that's the first order of business. Hoping I find that tide is falling. I think it is. All right, I've come back into this little bayou. It's got about 4.5 feet of depth. A lot of grass and some really pretty water. Tide is falling hard. But as you can tell, the water's still up. It's all back in this marsh. So it tells me we're definitely timing our trip at the right time. It's gonna get better as the day goes on. Probably gonna be a little slow at the beginning. And it's breezy. Kind of a southeast wind. We've got a front coming through sometime this evening. So it's blowing out in front of that. When I left home, it was hard overcast, but the clouds broke about halfway here, and now it's almost entirely sunny, although they do have some clouds in the sky. Oh, there's a fish. Was a fish. Oh, there's a fish. There's a fish. What are you? Oh, came off. I would like to have seen him. I gotta tell you, this water in here is absolutely gorgeous. We are definitely gonna find some fish today.
This episode of Marsh Man Masson brought to you by Puglia Sporting Goods.
It's your 15-minute warning.
All right, I'll meet you there.
Cool, man. See
Bye.
ya.
All right, so that was C-Mac. He's 15 minutes out. It's my 15-minute warning. No fish, 2 bites, but no fish. One of the bites was a good bite. The other one I think may have been a needlefish. As pretty as this little bayou is, I think we'll come back here at some point today, maybe finish the day here once this water gets a little lower. But I think we're gonna hit a different area. Hoping to find some lower water. Maybe something that's a little bit later in the tide. All right, this is my last cast. See if I can get one here. If not, I'm heading to the dock. Come on, fish, don't let me go home empty-handed. Gotta have something to show for my efforts. There he is, there he is. Oh boy, something thump it. That's about the 5th bite like that I've gotten, way off the bank. I think it might be, it's either needlefish or it might be little trout. All right, I can't go on that. Let's try another one. That one drilled it. He pounded it, but then he wasn't there. Just hit it and spit it. I tell you, this water is a 10 out of 10. It's got just enough stain to catch fish in, but man, it's gorgeous. All right, I promise this is really my last cast. I gotta go. There he is. There he is. Yep, that's what's been hitting me, little trout. And he's not so little, he's a keeper. He is a keeper, going in the box. Well, let's measure him first just to make sure. Oh yeah, 12 and a half. First fish of the day. Not going back empty-handed. I'll take it. If I weren't such a good friend, I'd make some more casts, but that wouldn't be right. What's up, Daddy-O? What you got, C-Mac? Speckled trout. A baby. Oh.
Trout?
Nice trout. There you go. Another bass.
Chunky there, bro.
C-Mac, an actual bass. Can't believe it.
About time, man. Too many bassy spots for there not to be bass.
He was right on the edge of that grass. Like right where a bass is supposed to be. It's encouraging to see, at least. Oh, there we go. That's a red. That is not a bass. It's not a big red. He's flippable. Dude, look how gorgeous that is in that water, huh? So beautiful. Look how copper.
He ain't tiny.
No, he's not. Oh, look at that. We're gonna let you go, big boy. We gonna let you go. All right. I think you got some more flaps in you. You came in way too easily.
Crazy, Todd!
Definite red, you saw him? Yeah. Oh, look how pretty. Dude, look at that. That will get you excited. Now that's the good eating size. It's about a 17, 18 inch fish.
He's fighting pretty dang hard for a small fish. I'm not mad at him.
And mine didn't fight that hard at all. It was considerably bigger than that one. It's not a bad fish. Look how pumpkin colored. Look at that, look at that. Just gorgeous. Look at that, beautiful fish. You got popped? He's on it? Oh, look at that, what is that, trout? So awesome. Keeper trout, nice.
I mean, you don't often catch trout on spinnerbaits.
No.
Because they hit the damn spinner.
Right, they hit the blade. Here you go.
This episode of Marsh Man Masson brought to you by Matrix Shad and by Cito New Orleans and by Versamax Quartz and by Death Grip Jig Heads.
All right, so C-Mac and I have really been struggling today. It's just been very, very slow. And it's kind of one of those days where it doesn't make any sense. Like, it shouldn't be slow. We've got a cold front coming through tonight. We've got a southeast wind. We've got absolutely gorgeous water. We have found tons and tons of bait. Falling tide, like everything you could possibly want. The deck is stacked in our favor, and we've really struggled. So obviously something's at play. My only guess is that the water's still up and the fish are still back. But as this tide has continued to fall, we've begun to pick up some fish. We came to a different bayou, but conditions in this bayou are the same as the last three we fished, and we didn't catch much of anything in those. So maybe things are about to get right. I mean, there's just so much bait in this bayou, it's incredible. And I think C-Mac, our wind may be dying a little bit. Oh, no way. He just didn't get it. Good night. Look at that. Look at that bass.
Look at that picture, huh? Keeper trout.
And a keeper bass.
Keeper bass. And I threw basically in the hole where you made with your bait.
So I got popped. There's a bunch of fish right there.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to leave this. I got popped. He missed it. I got popped again. He missed it. Bait was almost back to the boat, and then he hit. Let's get a let's try and get a double selfie. Double! There he is. I'm gonna hold this here a minute. Get him, C-Mac. Nice, good trout on a spinner bait.
Biggest trout I caught a while.
Shows you the diversity of our marshes. I mean, you're targeting bass and reds. Oh well, speckled trout.
Look at this grass bed. I mean, these grass beds are thick as the hair on my back.
That's pretty thick. I've seen your back.
Woo. It's a veritable forest in there.
So it's not a mystery that these fish are here. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but there's matted grass all through here, and there's just one little channel coming through the middle of that matted grass. You know, it's just a little bit deeper there. That's where the water flows through. So that's basically functioning as a trenasse. That water's just funneling through there, pushing bait through, and these fish are just waiting right out here to ambush it. All right, C-Mac and I were heading in and saw these birds diving out in this rough lake. Fish on already. Fish on already, speckled trout. That didn't take long. Keeper trout. Man, it is seriously rough out here, but there's a serious amount of speckled trout. Oh, look at this shrimp. They're going crazy. You got him? There's one. There's a fish. There's a fish. Another trout. He's a little smaller, but he might make it. I don't think he's gonna make it, but let's see. Got him, Chris? What are you throwing?
Jumbo slice on a 3/8 ounce jig.
Okay. Oh, there's one right in his mouth. Oh, I lost him. That was a good fish. It's a really good fish. No, I got his friend. I got his buddy. Good trout? Good trout, C-Mac.
Oh, look at him.
What did he throw? Oh, it's a shrimp. Yeah, he threw up a shrimp.
Giant shrimp.
Pretty trout. All right, mine's a keeper as well. Oh, you still on? Yeah, you're still on. You're not big. I tell you, you can almost just sit and wait and watch for a shrimp and throw right there. Oh, there's a fish. So pretty, so pretty. All right. Ooh, the water's salty. So we're fishing in like 30 feet of water, but the fish have chased the shrimp to the top. So all you do is cast out as far as you can and just kind of straight retrieve, hop it a little bit, real close to the surface. They think it's a fleeing shrimp and they nail it. We got a big channel right here that's draining into this massive lake. So all this water gets diffused out here. It's a good place for these speckled trout to ambush the shrimp that are coming through. There he is. Oh, look at that. He's not big. He might make the cut. Yeah, he'll make the cut. He will be 2 fillets. No, he will not. That's like clemency from the governor as you walk into your electric chair. Oh my goodness, there's a million fish here. Oh, missed him. Mine went bananas and I lost him. It's a keeper. It's a boxer. Look at that. Come on, tail walk, baby. Like a tarpon. All right.
There's no trout left out here. The fresh water killed them all. No trout.
quality makes the white shrimp.
There's no trout left.
You trying to shake him off? Is he little? It's just not even, it's not even challenging. Throwing up shrimp as they come in the boat.
Caught another one, fly.
Man, I had a cast without a bite. Look at that. I tell you, there's some nice shrimp in here. Look at that, already. Threw in his mouth. He was watching it come from the heavens. Stay in the boat, big fella. You fall out, I'm gonna get you back in. Didn't you fall out once in Grand Isle? There's a good trout. Look at this guy. Dude, you could pay me $1 million a year. I wouldn't live anywhere else. Ooh, man. Hold on, big fella. Whoa!
Yeah, that was a quality weight there.
Yeah, I'm guessing a shrimp boat passed somewhere or something. If we believed in karma, like the worst thing possible you could come back as is a shrimp. Trout of the day.
Trout of the day, trout of the day.
And it was all skill.
Trout of the day.
That's a good trout. Look, you threw up a shrimp. I'm gonna show him to you. That's a pretty fish.
Trying to get him to let go of it.
Dude, look at that shrimp right behind you.
I know. Oh, I know, right here. You don't have to make long cast.
Let's see how long he is. That fish is 18 inches. All right, this is what that fish just threw up. That's what they're eating. About a 50 count white shrimp. Look, right next to the boat.
Yeah, they're just demolishing. I don't even feel like setting a hook in.
Well, you don't even really need to. They do it themselves. Dude, I've lost my last 3 right at the boat. Plenty more where that came from. These fish will be here until this tide changes. That's a better trout. Hey, baby. You so pretty. All right, so the birds have mysteriously vanished, but the trout haven't disappeared. They're still here, thick as could be. I don't know why the birds left. We still see trout hitting shrimp.
Maybe the birds are full.
They might be full. All right, so this is why I love fall, and this is why it's so important to fish a falling tide in the fall. On a rising tide, these white shrimp are all staying inside that marsh. Now, you can go back in there and catch them, definitely. But when you get a falling tide in areas like this, the fish just school up and go in a feeding frenzy that's like the best feeding frenzy of the entire year. And this will happen for the next 2 months at least. All right, I got to do it just for kicks.
Stop.
Yep, just for jollies. It's gonna be tough to work, but it probably doesn't matter right now. See if I can avoid the birds. Oh, first cast, top water. Now I gotta break out the pliers. He's not big either. He's a keeper.
Nice.
He's a keeper.
That's a nice trout, dude.
Join your brethren. All right, so C-Mac and I have just loaded the boat with speckled trout. Caught more than either of us wants to clean. We don't have a limit yet. Of course, in Louisiana, the limit's 50. 25 for each of us. Probably got about 30 to 40. We could round out our limit, but we got enough to eat. So I think we're gonna call it a day. Leave these fish feeding every single cast. This is as good as it gets. I mean, it's just phenomenal fishing here in South Louisiana. Man, I would never live anywhere else. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to Marsh Man on YouTube. And leave a comment in the comment section. Have you gotten on action like this yet this year? If you have, give us the details. You're going to tell us exactly where. But just let us know what the situation was. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh or under the birds, we'll see you right here on Marsh Man Masson. I got to tell you, I'm making one more cast.